Oh, it's Men in Blazers Euro 2000 and Copa Euro Day 6. Copa Day 13. Feels like we've been doing this for months, to be candid. Davo again had work done. Oh, no. Dom is back again.
Hi, guys.
For some more punishment.
It doesn't feel like punishment, talking about football with you.
You can call me Chocker, Don.
You can call me Chocker.
We're going to celebrate. We're going to mourn for Albania. Guys, in the production room, our mics are so hot, it's unbelievable. We're going to celebrate with some Albanian raka, the favourite fruit brandy, so popular in Tirana.
Oh, what a lovely bucket.
Gezua!
Is that how you say cheers?
Yeah, do you not know that?
Gezua!
Oh, God, I've had some nights in Tirana. Let me tell you. We've got World Cup winner Kelley O'Hara coming in to guest. But what a joy it is to be with you. An absolute joy.
Mate, thanks.
I realised yesterday we love being with you because you're just another northerner.
Yeah.
I've had enough with the southerners. You're a northerner.
Not a southern softie.
Mancunian. Liverpudlian.
Yeah.
Just explain before we come on the difference between the north and the south. Noel Gallagher came on. He said the north has better hair, better culture, better shoes than those down south. Does that sum it up?
Better actors, better music, better football teams. Yeah, it's like the north. It's like the East Coast, West Coast. Good wine, that isn't it? Oh. It's like the East Coast. The East Coast, West Coast rivalry a little bit.
We can hear him in the production room. It's really annoying me.
It's crazy. Like you've got LA versus New York. A little bit of that is going on with the north-south divide. And historically in England, people from the north are a little more normal, tend to earn less money. They're a bit tougher, a bit more real. So I always compare the north to New York and the south a little bit to LA. London's a little bit more like LA. But yeah, proper northern. And when northern people are hanging out, there is a camaraderie, even though you're from Liverpool and you support Everton, which is, scummy.
Yeah.
There is a camaraderie between us in terms of we know what it's like, a little bit of a tougher upbringing than those southern softies from London.
I've got to tell you, those years I spent down the mines and up the chimneys makes me realise how lucky I am to be here covering football with you. A lot of tweets about your performance yesterday.
Oh, really?
Ian S on Sport said the Men in Blazers are using their voice clout to bring Dom's Wild Things back from the island. Now, if they could only reunite Drive Shaft.
Yeah, it could happen. I keep getting asked by bands to come on and open for them to do that Drive Shaft song, but I have to explain to them, first of all, there's only really a verse.
You
not really
all
a chorus.
everybody.
Yeah, you all everybody. And I'm like, that's all you do.
Yeah.
You just do that one little thing,
Sing it for us.
You all everybody.
You were the real talent in that band. It's
I sure
clear
was,
to everyone. Why are we talking about this when we've just come off one of the great, well, I'd say top 100 home team performances in the Euros from the Stade Velodrome in Marseille, France. Oh, I'd say to all of you watching in Tirana tonight, and I know the thousands of you, GFOPs across Albania, with the hand-generated, the donkey walking around the garden, firing up the generator to get the television working so you can see the guy from the Oasis of Lost, Drive Shaft, to come on and talk football. Our hearts go out to you, don't they?
Yeah, they played well, to be fair. I mean, they're punching above the weight. And it wasn't. When did France score the first goal? And
90th minute. That was. We still believe, and we're going to break it down. That was the best Albanian performance since exchange student Adil Hoxha was able to send classified information back to the Albanian government by tricking Homer Simpson into giving him a tour of the Springfield power plant. Here's sparrow to nest. Oh, big game, big call at the beginning by Didier Deschamps, Griezmann and Pogba. Paul Pogba, the face of the tournament, the face of this French team, both flat and nervy in the opener, dropped to the bench. Martial and the king, Koeman, thrown on in. I mean, they are the French Pulisic and Nagbe, but a massive signal sent. And we asked ourselves, how would the French team respond to this kind of chaotic approach to team picking? How did they respond?
I thought Koeman was actually very good, and I love Anthony Martial because obviously he's a Manchester United player, played really well.
You are partial to Martial.
I'm partial to Martial,
yeah.
But it's a strange one, isn't it? We were talking about it, that you drop your marquee players, and the thing that struck me was when they came on, when Pogba came on in the second half, he made an immediate impact with his physicality, with his long legs. One of the longest footballers I've ever seen. He's like 7'8" or something. It's just those huge long legs like an ostrich. Played really, really well. Very strong. And then obviously the goal scored by Griezmann, the substitute.
Long time before that. I mean, in that first half, it was like Albania pressing, harrying, creating the occasional chance. Matuidi really struggling in those early stages in the midfield. France trying to work. It seemed like the whole game plan in that first half was, lads, if we get Giroud, the couple of chances he misses before he scores, we're going to be all right. And they kept trying to feed him. He hit the bar.
How many headers did he have? He could have scored 3 headers, I think. And I feel sorry for Giroud because he's being booed by the French fans, isn't he? And he didn't really ingratiate himself that much in that game. He played well, but they're not going to like the fact that he missed that many times.
He's turning into the best-looking wrestling heel in football. I mean, France, I don't mean this in a negative way, so bear with me. France did turn into United for a spell in that first half. They were just feeding Martial on the left and just being, whatever's French for, make crap happen, please, Anthony Martial. The midfield combinations left a lot of space. The camera in the first half kept going to Paul Pogba on the bench, and he was just looking on, doing that thing that only footballers do. Just like covering his mouth.
Can't believe he not brought me on.
Yeah,
can't believe he not brought me on.
What the hell is he doing to Didier Drogba? He's a madman.
Yeah.
I love the footballer thing. I imagine even when they're not on camera, even when they're not in game, they walk around the house at home being like, do you know where my socks are? I want my lucky underpants.
Yeah. France, put the kettle on, love. Put the kettle on.
France, your cup of tea. France highlight in the first half, a cheeky failed 360 by Coman, the kind the FS2 boys do for fun. Pogba warming up on the sideline around the 40th minute, on for the second. France go to the 4-3-3. I mean, what must have been going on through his head? It's amazing. He's a hero. He's dropped after 90 minutes.
It's a strange one, isn't it?
And then he's been thrown on again to save the day.
And what does that say to the psychology of the team? I mean, initially I thought, okay, Deschamps doesn't rate Albania, so he's going to drop the 2 players, give them a rest, bring them on for the next game because they'll go through. But then bringing them on anyway seems a little counterproductive. And it also, we were talking about it sends weird messages throughout the team. You're the best player. You're playing the best. You deserve your position. So we're going to put you on the bench for a little bit.
It is. I mean, it creates kind of panic, insecurity, deep neuroses, all incredibly French qualities. So maybe that's what you have to brew to get them to actually dominate in the later stages. But Albania started to sneak the odd cheeky chance. Lenjani,
counter-attacking,
named after that great Robin Williams movie in which the people go through the board and end up in the jungle, hit the post from close range. Frantic fare. And what was fascinating about this talent-soaked French squad, no one is arguing that apart from the centre-backs, this is an incredibly talented, young, positive, able French squad, but no one on that field was a leader saying, okay, lads, or d'accord, garçon, let's stay calm, let's do this. We're playing Albania, the veterans in this team. Evra, Giroud, not really the type to step up and kind of inspire the young heads around them. And it was frantic young stuff. The main strategy, letting Payet just float over gorgeous cross after gorgeous cross for the French to squander.
For Giroud. I mean, I thought...
It's Albanian brandy.
Yeah, it's hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a great burn, a lovely peppery finish.
Go on.
I thought, to be fair, coming towards the end of the game, I thought Payet actually did push a little bit of his personality into the game. And obviously taking that goal, lovely. That's two goals in 2 games for Payet. And again, the substitute, Griezmann, one of the smallest guys, certainly one of the smallest strikers, scores with a great goal. It just misses that Albanian guy.
Yeah.
And he directs his header right into the side netting. You're not saving that.
He flicked it home. It was amazing. He flicked it home, calculated the angle perfectly to absolutely ice the poor keeper. My heart broke for him. He knew he could do nothing. But it was also the perfect angle for his quiff. He's got this gorgeous quiff to like float like a little butterfly over a meadow on a gorgeous summer's day. It was absolutely, it was the perfect kind of French cinematographic shot. There was light, backlight, kind of flicked through.
Very romantic.
True. It was beautiful. And it's like Amelie.
And they say, don't they, if a penalty or a goal hits the side netting, the goalkeeper's got no chance, and it hit the side netting.
You should actually get 2 goals.
That awful shot of the Albanian keeper just locked, looking to his right, watching the goal go in, thinking, all this work we've done for 90 minutes. And it would have been a historic draw for them. And unfortunately, the end result kind of over-complimented France.
It did. The late Payet goal for the second time, 89th minute in the first game. In the second game, he scored in the 94th plus. It's like an NBA game when you
Like
watch
it was.
France. You just have to tune in
He Jamie
for the last
Vardy'd it.
couple of minutes. He did.
I am here.
It was
I am
amazing.
here.
He charged forward. Everyone was screaming for the ball. He's just like, whoa. My name currently is Dimitri Payet. If I score this goal, I can change my name to Real Madrid's Dimitri Payet because I'm sure the transfer talk is going to absolutely boil up around this man who has been the player of the tournament. Knee-jerk reaction, 2-2 games. What happens post-game for France is going to be fascinating. They are through.
Yeah, well done.
As you say in France, Mazel Tov, lads. You're
Allez
through.
le bleu. I'll tell you what happens to Dimitri Payet post-game. I think he's going to get a kiss and a cuddle from his wife.
Yeah, I hope so.
If that was his
he
wife in
deserves
the crowd.
I'm sure he does a lot of great
Boston.
work for charity, and that's what has engaged her to that relationship.
Yeah, what
But I
attracted
wonder
you to the multi-millionaire football player?
what goes on in the heads of the French after that? They've won 2. What do they say to themselves? Are they like, we are tactically a mess, we are struggling against teams we should be putting away? Or do they say, you know what, we're really good at winning games?
I think, like you said, Rog, I think that if they're going to have a frank conversation, whether they do that or not, they have to say, where is the leader? Where is our leader? Where's our talisman? And for the longest time, you thought that was Paul Pogba, putting him on the bench and then bringing him on. Didn't seem like the best idea. But where's that guy? I thought maybe it would be Evra, one of the more elderly statesmen, saying, you know, I'm going to give you the confidence to express yourself. And it's not quite there with France. Although, to be fair, home court advantage, 2 wins out of 2. I think they've got the momentum now. And going into the knockout stages, they're going to be a good team to take.
All so French. And I say gutting for Albania. 2.7 million people live in that country. Less than Nevada. Less than the state of Nevada, which I think is 35th biggest state in this great country of ours. How do they play such fantastic football? To me, it's a totem of the global game. When you have collective will, when you have spirit, as we saw with Iceland yesterday in the international game against the big stars, the individuals, you can do anything. Because France, on the togetherness scale, they were at kind of Belgium settings.
Yeah.
Yes, they have all the talent, but it's 11 individuals. Albania, one of the poorest countries in Europe, massive levels of corruption, huge debt, massive unemployment, without its best player, Lorik Cana, who was out after the red card. Their real best player is actually playing for Switzerland. This is what America needs to become a great footballing country.
Yeah, and this is
poverty, corruption, debt. That's the recipe for fantastic international football. Let's do it, America.
And this, to be fair, is probably, you know, a balmy summer for them in Albania. They're in a major footballing competition. They're playing well. So you just felt like if they could have got through that last 5 minutes and got a historic draw against France, Albania would have been going off tonight. I'm sure it still is going off. If this wine is anything to go by.
Zuar.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful,
Zuar.
beautiful fruit brandy. You can always be number 1 in fruit brandies,
tastes like
Albania.
feet.
Earlier in the day, we watched Switzerland and Romania play to a 1-1 draw, an entertaining, low quality but feel the width 1-1 draw at the Parc des Princes in Paris, France. Stanku opened the scoring with a penalty. Got to say, he and Shatov would definitely make Yogi Love's Orifice starting 11. I love some of the names that are percolating through, but it was Switzerland in the second half that came back in a buoyant fashion.
And what a difference a goal makes. I watched this game earlier on today. Romania looked quite nervy. They looked quite clunky, quite old, quite clumsy at the start. They got that penalty, which was a legit penalty. And then they just started to really express themselves, and there was a lot more space in the park. I have to say that goal by, what's his name? Written it down?
Mehmedi.
Mehmedi.
One of the Albanian Swiss.
He spanked it. What a strike. If you've not seen that, have a look at that online. As Alan Partridge would say, did you see that? It was an amazing strike. And we were saying earlier on, body position, like hot shot Hamish. Got his foot over it, bent his body, kept his head down.
One of those goals that make you wonder whether there aren't more goals like that. He's one of the many Albanian Swiss. He thumped it home.
Striker.
Switzerland really dominated without the edge they need to get that qualification in this game to the next round. The player that changed it was Cameroonian-born Swiss, Briel Mbello, young Basel player who changed the game, made United and Spurs salivate. They are both rumoured to be linked with him. And with his all-round performance, I'll say Xhaka, fantastic again. Well done, Arsenal fans. Shaqiri, not so much. The great game today for me, the one I enjoyed most, Slovakia and Russia in Lille.
Yeah.
Oh, neck tattoos 2.
Local derby.
Global threats 1 in this one. What a game.
Yeah.
What
great,
goals.
Great game. Russia, again, a team with a huge amount of people to draw on. And they just don't seem to be a great footballing team. I'm not really sure why that is. But an amazing goal from Hamsik. Goal of the tournament up to now. If you're going to score a goal and you hit it off the post and in. It's just that much sweeter.
That was the second.
That was the second. The first goal where he's able to like
Little
completely
vice.
take those defenders out with one touch.
Hamsik played a ball which was less a piece of football. It was really a piece of human poetry.
Yeah,
Lobbed
stunning.
it over. Tiny little vice. Beautiful, beautiful neck tattoos. I'm really
Gorgeous.
thinking about getting one.
Yeah, you
By the
should.
way, we've got to talk about neck tattoos. We will in a minute. He let two covering Russian defenders just charge right past him as he held the ball up suddenly. It was like how I play FIFA when I play 5-year-olds. Like the 5-year-olds just hold up. I'm giving it too
L1,
much.
L1.
I'm giving it too much turbo.
Yeah.
And they just, my defenders charge past and they just lethally destroy. David Beckham, I know you're watching this. You've got this MLS team in Miami coming up.
Apex.
You need to sign Vladimir Weiss. And then you could market him
He was quality.
as Miami Vice.
Oh, I like that, Raj.
It's a free idea. It's a terrible idea.
That's great.
Miami
Miami
it's a terrible,
Vice.
terrible joke. Hamsik, though, the
He took
drummer,
his goal very well.
the drummer for Green Day in his part-time, scored a sumptuous second. Exactly the kind of goal that I've often said Kyle Beckerman will score to win the World Cup for America in 2018. Russia pulled one back, a beautiful pass from my man Shatov. Wonderful surname, one that Mo would appreciate Bart Simpson calling up Mo's Tavern with. The flare went off when they scored the goal. Everyone was like, oh, there's a flare, a Russian flare.
All the English people.
You
know.
loved it.
Well, I think it could be the greatest chance that England get to get out of the group is the fact that we all point at the Russian game and go, look, flare,
Ban
flare,
them, ban
flare.
them, ban them.
You've got to ban them. There has been some skirmishes today, hasn't there, with the Russians and the
Awful
English fans?
stuff. It's been brutal to watch. Russia clearly trying to exit the Euros of their own accord before UEFA kicked them out. The flare in the ground, and their fans have been mixing it up on the streets with the English fans in Lille all day. It's been actually heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
No one is without blame in that toxic human cocktail. But you said Russia, what a perennial underachiever there. We're talking about Albania, 2.7 million, Iceland, 325,000 population. It's shocking how they cannot get 11 better footballers from that vast continent that is that country. I'm sure Vladimir Putin will want to put out 11 brown bears
Sure he will.
for their next game.
Bare-chested.
Fantastic win for Slovakia. I love my populations, 5.4 million.
You do love your population.
Same size as Minnesota.
And just lastly, to talk about Slovakia, there are some amazing haircuts on show at this Euros.
Yep.
But I have to give a shout out to Hamsik.
You do.
A haircut like an Incan priest. He looks amazing. It just looks like he's just about to do a human sacrifice.
Yep.
Brilliant player. Brilliant player. He does. He does.
A lot of income priests are phenomenal at football, but they've clearly been watching the Slovakian team a lot of the Copa because they have gone all in on the neck tats. We talk about
neck
Slovakia.
tattoos.
We talk about that win. It puts huge pressure on poor England, who now really need a win so they can get top of the group. And who do they play tomorrow? Let's have a little preview of tomorrow. Tomorrow is Le Grand Day of football. There are so many great games. Starts off 9 a.m. Eastern Time when Wales, tiny Wales, gorgeous Wales, play mighty regional power and local bully England at the Stade Félix Bollard in Lens, France.
We invented the sport, no less.
Yes, as we keep saying, and we think that gives us a divine right to victory, Dom.
It doesn't. And I would think like shades of Portugal versus Iceland. You've got Wales, a little bit like Iceland.
Yep.
They've done everything they needed to do. They've
Yep.
already won. They're
Yep.
in the competition.
Yep.
No expectation, no pressure. They've got a star player in Bale. England invented the sport. Tons of pressure. They have to win. You know, the English press are the nastiest in the world. And I think if they either draw or lose, they're going to go after them and they're going to be in some deep
It
trouble.
is darkness. On this day 20 years ago, England beat Scotland at Euro 96. Gascoigne's finest day, 2-0 victory. Last time two
dentist
British
chair.
teams, guzzle, 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 with the brandy from
Yeah.
Albania, no doubt.
Yeah.
Last time two British teams met in a major European competition. This is going to be fascinating because this is a Welsh team that really fancy it. I've been fascinated by the skirmishes, the vocal skirmishes beforehand. Gareth Bale asked yesterday how many English players would make the Welsh side. He just smirked and said none. I did wonder how many American players would make the England side. The answer clearly, probably just two, Christian Pulisic and Darlington Nagbe. After the Russian game, huge hubbub in the English press. What changes do they want to see? They want maybe Kane out, maybe Sturridge or Vardy in. What is the Dom thinking?
I mean, I'm a Manchester United fan. I would always like to see a little Marcus Rashford maybe on the bench, bringing him on if we need him. I'd like to see Vardy.
Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, give Vardy a go. Give Vardy a go from the opening minute. I mean, I like Harry Kane. I think he's great. If Harry Kane plays, I don't think he should be taking corners anymore. But I think bring on Vardy, And then as an emergency measure, if we need him for a little bit of skill and a little bit of fearless play, Marcus Rashford, 60th minute, scores a goal.
I do think this is going to be a mental battle. Wales, their motto, together stronger, nothing to lose, all the pressure on England, the nightmare of Gareth Bale's ability to score from distance, just no doubt filling the dreams of the England defenders. And I'll say, playing without fear is just not in an Englishman's DNA.
True.
We will see great email from Ty Williams, who wanted us to say, we said that Wales' victory in their last game was the greatest thing for Wales since SeaWorld freed all of their orcas. And he said, no doubt scores of other GFOPs have pointed out orcas are dolphins, they're not whales. And as such, the Welsh win over the weekend is more clearly linked to the 1972 Marine Mammal Protection Act.
Nice.
Oh, love you. You're a beautiful man. I stand corrected. Another massive game, Germany-Poland.
Oof.
I mean, Simon Kuiper, great mate at the pod, once wrote, when two teams walk out to play an international game, we were chatting about this, the history of their nations walks out alongside them. Germany
and Poland. They got a little bit of history.
Yeah, I mean, Germany have a little bit of history with pretty well everybody they play.
Yeah.
I mean, the French, the Dutch, the English, they all...
True. They have been European bad boys
but
for a while.
few more than Poland.
Yeah.
Who not only have the 28-day invasion as backstory, but also the plundering of their best players. Lucas Podolski, Martin Klose in recent years went on to plunder goals for Germany. It's going to be an epic battle.
It is an epic battle, and both great teams, obviously. I mean, I was born in Germany. I'm partial to the German team. I think they play really well. Young team, very strong. They seem to have players all around the pitch that can affect change in the game. Poland, because they've played them so many times, I don't think they'll have the same amount of fear playing them, because it's like, oh, okay, another game against Germany. Hopefully, if you want a great game there, Poland score first, and then Germany come up.
You've got Lewandowski, Bayern Munich's playing against his teammates. Big difference in this game to ones in the past, because Poland always used to lose to Germany. They won in qualifying, Poland 2-0 in Warsaw. They will play without fear. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see.
You might argue that Lewandowski is the best player on that pitch. There's a conversation to be had.
Best striker in the tournament. Of that, there's no doubt. Final thing to wrap up the Euros. You know I love Iceland. And HUD's Soccer Act tweeted us to say, what do you think about Ronaldo going full-on Regina George on Iceland? When he said after the game, after the 1-1 draw, he said they celebrated like they'd won the Euro Cup or something. That's a small mentality. That's why they'll do nothing. Yes, this country of 325,000 people who the whole team get 8 times, you cost 8 times more than the whole Icelandic squad. They shouldn't be happy when they tie. You killjoy, you misery, you horrible, horrible man. I do love how Carrie Aronson, who used to play at Rotherham United, said about the Real Madrid forward, tough shit, you're a sore loser. That's why everyone likes Lionel Messi. I love straight talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make an argument for that. I mean, I love Ronaldo, obviously, ex-Man United player. He's categorically the second best player in the world all the time after Messi. I think if you are Ronaldo, if you play like Ronaldo, if you have that mentality like Ronaldo, you have to always think you're going to win. You have to always be personally offended when you don't win. And, I mean, he made some petulant comments, but, I mean, you know, Ronaldo is known for being a little bit of a petulant player. I think he's
a
disappointing.
preening show pony. At Trev Head said, poor Cristiano wouldn't last one qualifying cycle in CONCACAF if he can't handle defend. CONCACAF Thunder.
I think once again he's on a team where he knows that they're underachieving and they're not going to go anywhere, and it's frustrating for him because, you know, to show that he is the best player in the world, which he isn't, that's Lionel Messi, he has to win a major competition. I just don't see it.
Nice segue to the Copa, the tournament that's making everyone reconsider their personal positions on neck tattoos. How many of you at home, having never thought about getting one, are now doing so? You've got so much ink, it's unbelievable. Yeah. What is your position on the neck tattoo? Dom?
I think the neck tattoo is pretty hardcore. Anything that gets seen all the time, regardless of what you're wearing or not wearing, is kind of, you know, a big deal in tattoos. So hand tattoos, obviously forehead tattoos, and neck tattoos are hardcore. I like Marcus Rojo, or Rojo's tattoo for Manchester United. He's got a real gangster diamond right here. What would you get?
I'm thinking about getting the Stars and Stripes tattooed right here ahead of tomorrow's game.
It's classic.
It's sparkle. Yeah. It shows that I'm committed to the American cause, which I am. We will see. I've got the Bee Gees tattooed as a tramp stamp down below, but we'll see if I add to that. Yeah, I'll win any time. I want to talk very quickly about Mazel Tov Argentina. Threw Messi on in a meaningful game. Chile through. You beat Panama 4-2. Here is your bracket in the Copa America Battle Royale. All these countries. Look at that. Why have they written USA here? They should have written the winners. We'll have to see and get to the bottom of that one. Ziplo, we're going to follow. I'm going to fill this in, Lex, and we're going to show my predictions for the rest of the tournament. Who cares about any of that? Because we care about one thing. We care about USA Ecuador 9:30 tomorrow. It's a massive game. We needed a massive character to come and talk to us about this great moment for this great country that allows bald men to be on television, which is why I love it so. And here she is, Kelley O'Hara. US Women's National Team Sky Blue FC's Kelley O'Hara.
Hello.
World Cup champion.
Look
Olympic
at what I
gold
brought.
medalist.
Wow.
Oh, welcome to the panic room.
Oh, I want one of them.
Oh, God.
Beautiful.
That's actually a neck tattoo in waiting. When I get my American Stars and Stripes, I may get that done on the other side.
There.
We got you here. We are so happy to
Thanks
have you.
for having me.
She's
I'm so
actually-
excited to be here.
She's a connoisseur of Albanian fruit brandy, which she likes to keep very quiet. I'm going to pass you a glass,
Oh.
which you may or may not want to indulge.
Thank you.
You've won.
Fumey. It's
What do we
fumey.
say again? How do you say it?
You say- Good idea! I imagine that you like crack a whip while you say it, and then put oil in your mouth and light fire.
Yes.
And have it come out at the same time.
We can have you demonstrate that.
I think there's probably bears dancing in the corner and all that stuff. That's just how I want to talk serious stuff, because you've won World Cups.
Yes.
You've won an Olympic medal, but you've done something that so many people haven't done. You've scored an endorsement with chocolate milk. It must feel like winning a golden ticket to the Willy Wonka factory.
It's true. It's so delicious. And I was saying that I should have chocolate milk today instead of wine, but that didn't happen.
How many chocolate milks a day do you have?
I had one this morning after practice.
So at least one a day.
I have one a day after
Well, how come
practice.
you're so skinny then? How does that work out?
Because I run a lot.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think that one through, to be fair.
Yeah.
There we are. We've fulfilled our commitment to the chocolate milk lobby.
They will love that.
Olympics, 49 days away and counting. We are looking at this summer of soccer, the Copa, the Euros. The Olympics is the sweet, sweet coda for us. Where are you mentally in your process of preparation? Does Rio feel like far away, or are you literally you're flicking through the channels during The Bachelor and you're just like Rio, Rio, Rio?
Well, it's definitely during The Bachelor that I'm thinking about Rio. It's in the forefront of the mind at this moment. It's kind of been there for a while, I would say. It's very close. It's right around the corner. So yeah, it's pretty much every day I think about it.
Do you get terrified about potential injuries? That would be my thing. Obviously, I'm not a professional athlete, but I just think, is that twinge? Is that going to get consistently worse and I'm not going to make the team?
Yes, and I don't like to talk about it, so let's change the subject.
Okay, good.
There's very few illnesses that chocolate milk cannot cure.
That's
That is the straight truth. It's a huge transitional time for this team. Lauren Holiday, Abby Wambach retired. Sydney Leroux, Amy Rodriguez taking the year off.
Yes,
to
having
have
babies.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful American babies.
I'm sure.
Megan Rapinoe, Carly Lloyd have been injured. Crystal Dunn emerges. Oh, Mallory Pugh, who was Christian Pulisic before we knew who Christian Pulisic. Is there a collective spirit still with this team as they try and ram themselves into 18 places to go to Rio? Or right now, does it feel like it's every single woman for themselves?
No, I would say that, obviously, whenever the roster is about to get named, it does get very tense. But I would say that the coaches and the staff and obviously everyone, all of us players have done a really good job of coming together in a very short amount of time with a lot of changes to the rosters that have played in games. It's pretty impressive. I would say that we're playing really good soccer. So I think that in general, we are doing everything we need to be doing and are doing well. We're in a good spot.
Some of the best soccer I've seen this women's team play.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Which is saying something, because the USA women's team are just categorically always the best women's team in the world, right? I mean, that's kind of been the story of your team.
Yes, always, if not one of the top two.
Yeah. And have you noticed in the past few years that gap starting to close now that England's getting a little bit better and
yeah,
some
even
of the other
just
teams? There's so much more money in
totally,
women's football now.
and just in general, being on the national team from the time I started to now, the difference in the level of play from other countries has increased, and teams have gotten better. Come around like France wasn't great, but yeah, now they're one of the top contenders. So
last summer, you were part of an American team that struggled initially in the group stage. You drew against Sweden. You struggled in that third game against Nigeria. You got battered by the press. Can you talk about the process, how a team can look bedraggled and toothless, a little bit like the US team against Colombia when the Copa opened? how a team plays itself into form through the arc of a tournament?
Well, it's interesting because when you go into a tournament and even leading up to it, even a year, 2 years out, as the coaches talk about, we want to be peaking on July 5th. That's the day of, World Cup final. And you saw that happen throughout the tournament, throughout last June. And it's pretty interesting to know that it can happen. So, yeah, I mean, we obviously went through some hard times in the beginning of the World Cup, but we knew what we were able to do on the field and our potential, and thankfully we did peak at the right moment.
When you're in those dark times and the press is battering you,
Yes.
and you're in your camp, you're in your bubble,
Uh-huh.
how does it feel in the bubble? Do you feel the doubt? Does it hurt? Does it motivate you? Do the storylines outside of the camp permeate inside?
Obviously, people read things. I try not to. And then, we have every meal together, so there's lots of talk. But I would say that we do a pretty good job of sticking together, being in that bubble. Things get inside, but we're really good at kind of, closing ourselves off to the world and pulling together as a team.
I've always felt like once you realise that the press lies, because they do lie.
Yeah, I think.
Once you have that recollection of like, oh, the press lie, then from then on they've completely negated themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
and
they're going to make up stories.
I would say a lot of times we get a lot of humor out of it.
Right.
So all you press people out there, we're
Oh,
laughing.
that's good. Yeah, I got engaged last week online. Someone
did?
got.
Did you?
No,
Congratulations.
but I didn't.
Cheers.
I got.
Yeah, cheers.
Now they've written it. It must be true.
But do you know what I mean? Someone got in touch with me and said you're engaged.
I gotta say,
I'd tell you.
bar mitzvahs don't pay for themselves. I may or may not have leaked that story. The US topped the group in the men's.
Yeah.
The reward, they had to travel thousands of miles across the continent as opposed to just driving up the road to play their game. You travelled from Montreal to Vancouver between the semi-final and the final.
Mm-hmm.
How much does a continental schlep impact a team physically and mentally?
Depends on the number of days between games, but travel is rough, especially in tournaments. But I think the boys are fine. They have charter flights.
And
We had charter flights at the
what
World
do you
Cup,
guys
which was
do? You have
pretty
to
sick.
row on like a ship where someone's beating a drum, and you guys have to row yourselves. How do you fly?
That's probably
How
right.
do you fly?
Yeah. We fly in a World Cup. We flew charter, but typically we fly on Southwest or another domestic airline.
Good advertisement.
Sunil.
Yeah.
Delta, go Delta.
Have you guys played in Ecuador?
No.
Because I'm just interested in the altitude, because obviously it's much
Altitude's
higher
terrible.
altitude.
We just played in Denver the other week, and I was dying.
Yeah.
It was miserable.
At what minute? Did you feel it all the way through, or at a certain
I felt
minute?
it in the first practice and warm-up.
Oh,
I
wow.
looked at Alex. I said, "What's your heart rate at?" She said 165. I said, "Okay, good,"
She loved it.
because I was worried.
Kelly's dad is a pilot for Delta.
Yes.
Dan.
Hi, Dad.
I'm so annoyed you're not
He
here.
was supposed to
today,
be
Dad.
here.
I
He was
know,
so
I'm so
excited.
It's the only reason I came. So
He
I
could
can meet
fly
Dan.
you guys around. He could fly the team
Yeah.
around.
Oh.
Sunil, get
I should
on it, mate.
propose that.
Get on it. Right back missing in the next game tomorrow night. God love you, DeAndre.
I know. I
spoke-
do like watching him play.
I spoke to Brad Guzan this morning. He told me they still do not know who is going to play right back tomorrow, which makes me think it is going to be Wando. How much does one change impact a team that is now used to playing together? How does that feel? For that
I actually think sometimes it's good.
Go on. Finish that sentence.
I would say backline is more difficult. I think that throwing somebody in.
Wando.
Yep. That seems like the right choice. Higher on the
Apply a
field or
little
in the
pressure.
attack is better to switch it up, and because I do think that backline it's very necessary to get cohesiveness and comfortable with each other. But I don't know. They're gonna have to figure something out.
To know your teammates there.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just-
you know they're behind you. You know the
You
pass
just-
that you're going to play.
Yeah, and defensively, it's just really nice to be all on the same page.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm confused about this team, and you've watched the games, I don't know how
Yes.
good they are. Colombia beat them. And everyone said, well, that was Colombia. They're so good. I actually don't think Colombia are a very good side, or this Colombia side, and they then lost to Costa Rica. Costa Rica, we smashed them. I actually thought Costa Rica were very good, even though everyone was like, it was only Costa Rica. It was
Yeah, but they
Florida.
did well at the World Cup, didn't
They're
they?
good,
They-
Costa
I,
Rica.
I think
Yeah.
Costa Rica are fantastic. I
Yeah.
thought it was a great
Good
win
team,
for the
yeah.
US.
Mm-hmm.
Paraguay, the US held on in difficult circumstances against a robust Paraguay side. What does your eye see? How good? They seem to be a moving target, this US team. I can't quite pin down how good they are right now.
I don't know if I ever can pin down where it is.
Mm.
No, like I say that in because I feel like they always have new players in and they try different lineups, and Jurgen has now played the same lineup for the last 3 games, so
Yep.
which is very different.
Amazing.
But I don't know. I think it's just
What
it's
you're
hard to
saying
tell.
is you miss Julian Green as much as I do.
I've always felt
What
like the
happened
men's.
to him? Where'd he go?
He's an intern at Embassy Road.
Yeah.
He's working with us now. We love him. Good,
I've always,
Julian.
I've always
Good.
felt like the men's national team, USA national team, seems to have a slight immaturity about them in the sense that they run out in the first half an hour, usually score in the first half an hour, and then they can't shut down a game. They can't keep it at 1-0. They're always going to concede. They're going to lose all their strength and their stamina in the second half. When I've watched them, I've thought this is typical men's USA national team. They come out, all bells and whistles. We're going to win it. We're going to win it. They score. Everyone jumps up and down, and then second half they lose all their.
Oh, I look at them as like England, but good. Last question before we do a
invented this.
Facebook Live with the wonderful Kelley
Oh, yeah.
O'Hara. We've got a great question from @US Women's National Team Fan Diary who wants to know, Kelley and Dom, if you did get a neck tattoo, I am obviously going to get the stars and stripes right there, maybe even before the game tomorrow. If you had to get a neck tattoo, what would you get? I think you probably get.
I've got one.
You get Pinot in goth script right there. Wouldn't you?
Yes.
I'm all about
Sick.
text.
Text?
Text. All my tattoos are all text. It's all written stuff. So I'd get written right here. I'd get. I'm not saying I'm cheap, but $20 is $20. Right there.
Journalists watching, did you get that? It's fact.
Make your mind up.
We've got a massive day of football tomorrow. Feud after feud in Europe. England, Wales, Germany, Poland.
what a
All
game.
eyes are going to be on Seattle. Those of you who won't know the result, we're going to do a spoiler alert because the chicken wings are pouring in.
Oh, it smells so
Oh.
good.
Yes.
There we
I'm
go.
so excited.
Can we get some carrots? There
Veggies
you are
for
for the
me.
vegetarian.
Oh, I feel
you
like-
bite these prophetic chicken wings. They will tell you the future. Oh,
Oh, is that what's happening? Okay. We're doing that right now.
Hey, do you want me-
Okay,
oh.
thank you.
what does you feel, Dom?
Ooh,
What
are
does
these-
what does your
These are
chicken?
kind of cold.
I love USA.
Yeah, we got them several
Hello?
weeks ago. No, we didn't. They're good. They came. They're from
Can I-
UBK
Are
across
these
the road.
able to be eaten right now? Am I gonna get?
I've eaten.
sick?
I've eaten 400 of them in the
Okay.
past.
Try 'em.
In the past 2 days, and I am still alive and kicking.
Oh my god,
I love
they're
USA.
really good.
They're a great
actually, even
team.
lukewarm.
Thank you, Union Bar and Kitchen across the road. We love you, and Kelley O'Hara loves you too. I said nice things about chocolate milk, Kelley.
You did, and now I'm saying these are delicious.
There you are. We love that restaurant, even though they don't sponsor us. Go on. What do you say? For
I'm getting
tomorrow?
it from the carrots now. I think USA, great team, love them, love USA as a country. I think they might be slightly punching above their weight with Ecuador. Very fast team, Antonio Valencia.
Oh.
I'm saying 2-1. 2-1 to Ecuador with the USA
What?
national team scoring first.
Oh, darkness. You see darkness.
Hey, I want them
That
to
is
win. I'm just
kind of sad.
I
trying to be
think,
honest.
I think you've spent too much time on the set
Too
of
good,
Lost.
Ecuador. They're too good.
Come on, we'll take those.
you.
What are your chicken wings telling you?
My chicken wings said
Give me positive.
it might be a lukewarm performance,
Yeah.
but at the end there's going to be a kick from that spice that I got there at the end.
Yes.
and
I like
we're
this
gonna
story
score
better. Yeah.
a late 85th minute goal.
Who's going to score it?
Ooh,
Freddie Adu.
probably Kyle Beckerman.
Yes! I love that answer. The honest truth is, I think it's going to be a tough game. Ecuador will score first. Wando is going to have the game of his life at right back. And I think
Oh, yeah.
St. Bobby Wood is going to pop up late on for that 2-1
You guys are so
victory to the
positive.
country that we love. This is going to be a very happy man come tomorrow night. Jurgen, you've done it again. You got your semi-finals.
yes.
Going to present you
Very
with our
cool.
humble USA World Cup winners 2018
Very
hat.
cool.
Just pretend it says 2019
Yes,
when you
we can make
three-peat.
those though, right?
You are remarkable. We're going to do a Facebook Live
She shoots, she scores.
with Kelley. Great tweet just come in from @Didymus. Dominic fills in again while Michael Davis recovers from Wayne Rooney-esque hair plug surgery. The truth is out. It's all coming. We
And
are
a neck
grateful to
tattoo.
you. Tomorrow we're going to be on after the game. 11:30.
Come on,
says Lex.
England!
It's going to be magic. We're going to Facebook Live the hell out of the game beforehand and during. And in 10 minutes, Kelley O'Hara, centre stage, Facebook Live. It's going to be a slice of magic. We're going to find out about that plush toy, if it still exists.
Oh my god.
Yes. To America. Fear not. Sleep well tonight.
Come on,
Victory,
England.
Courage.